Let's go!
Today I'm here to talk about my review of the 18-piece Prima Donna Bundle Monster Makeup Brush Set. Here's the brush set rolled out, and it comes with this protective flap which you can fold over, and then you can fold the whole set over like this and then just clip it together nice and easy. And it's really nice and thin, as you can see, so it's perfect for fitting in your travel bag. Now, I know that some of the reviews for the older brushes from Bundle Monster are not quite as good, but these are really excellent quality. I have never personally tried any of the older brushes, but I have to say that this set is absolutely amazing. So I'm going to go ahead and compare some of these brushes to some of my favorite brushes. So I thought from left to right, I'll pull out each brush one by one and talk a little bit about them. This brush is a large powdered brush, and I find this to be very high quality. I've been using this, and this brush reminds me most of the MAC 150 brush, which I have right here. And actually, my MAC 150 brush cost me just about the same as this entire set here cost me. Please excuse my brush, it is a little bit dirty. I'm going to show you a top view so you can get an idea of the size from the top and then also from the side. And I even feel like the handle of the brush as well is very high quality. So the next brush this is the flat top kabuki brush, and this is just a flat top, as you can see, and I also find that the handle of this is very high quality. It kind of reminds me of what you see with the Sigma brushes. Now, I've never actually owned a Sigma brush before, so I don't really know exactly a true comparison. I couldn't take one side by side, but I have eyed the Sigma brushes before, but those are a little bit pricey for me. But for this entire set, $50, I think you're getting incredible quality or an incredible deal with them. And I just wanted to show this brush side by side with the Real Techniques buffing brush so you can get an idea of the difference in size as well. Now, the Real Techniques brush is a little bit more tapered and rounded. Well, of course, it's not called the flat top kabuki, but it would be very good for buffing in your foundation, as I was saying. So then the next brush that I wanted to talk about is the powder blush brush. Now I find this brush to be kind of like the baby of this brush over here. I really like using this brush for blush, and you may have seen me use this brush in a couple of my videos already when I applied blush. The next brush, you can also use this to apply blush with, and I find this to be a very nice brush, dense. It did shed a little bit on me, but it has not since. The brush that I wanted to compare it to is my Borghese Angled Contour brush, and it is a little bit less dense than that brush, so it'll probably pick up a little bit less product, but that could be good depending on what you want to use it for. And yeah, they're very comparable. It's just a little bit more squeezed at the top than the Borghese brush. And again, this looks a lot like the Sigma angled brush to me that I've seen when I've looked at the Sigma website. Again, a very high quality brush. To compare this brush, the same brush, to my MAC 168 brush, it's very, very comparable to the MAC 168. The next brush here is your standard foundation brush. It is stiff and it does not shed. It is what I would expect of a foundation brush. And then the next brush here is the large fluff brush. I'm not really quite sure what to use this one for yet. It does not shed. This is how it looks from the top, and I don't think I have anything else quite like it. The closest thing that I have, I would say, is this Tarte brush right here. Although you can see that the Tarte brush is quite a bit larger, but it's just the way they're squeezed at the base that remind me of each other. The next brush here is just the short shader brush. It's your standard eyeshadow brush, good for packing on makeup. I think that this is an excellent quality eye brush. In fact, I think all of their eye brushes are quite excellent. Here is your angled brow brush. Perfect for putting your brow gel onto your brows. And then the next brush here is the concealer brush. I really like this concealer brush. It's smaller than my other concealer brushes, so I think this gives a lot more control for putting underneath my eyebrows. The next brush is the medium angled brush. Again, your standard eye brush. This one, I just don't use this type of brush quite as often, so I think for myself I would not have as much use for it. Next brush is a large shader brush. This one is a little bit too large for my eyes. I have quite small monolid eyes, but maybe someone with larger eyes would be able to use this brush. It is nice and flat to the side, so it could be a very good blending brush. The next brush is an eye shading brush as well. They sure give you a lot of eye shader brushes. And then the next one is the small tapered blending brush. I love brushes like this. This comes to quite a nice point, and it would just be great for blending out your eyeshadow. Next brush here is the tapered blending brush. And this is just good for blending like your outer corner, I think. So I do like this type of brush as well. Next brush is a really nice brush. It is the pencil brush. It comes to a very nice fine point, as you can see. Very useful for detailed eye work. So I grabbed the two e.l.f. brushes that I wanted to compare them to. I feel like this one comes to a nicer point than the e.l.f. brushes, and I wanted to say that when I bought the e.l.f. brushes, these two, the original ones that I purchased, are pretty high quality. I haven't had much problem with them, so I went and bought more, and then the new ones that I bought shed like crazy and basically just fell apart. I was never able to use them, so I'm not sure about the quality of those to begin with, but I want to say that I actually like the Bundle Monster one more. This one comes to a finer point, and I feel like it's a lot more tapered, whereas these two are a little bit more rounded and a little bit less evenly cut. They give you another angled brush. This is called the small angled brush, so if you want to see a comparison, that's the two of them side by side. One is just smaller than the other. And then they give you a eyeliner brush. So this is just a thin tipped eyeliner brush. I have to say the quality of these brushes is really good. So I don't know about their previous sets like I said before, but I really enjoy this one. This is the retractable lip liner brush. The hairs on this one are a lot finer than the e.l.f. Studio one. The e.l.f. Studio one I feel like is stiffer, so just depending on your preference, if you like a stiffer hair on your lip brush or if you like one that gives in a little more, then you would probably like this brush better. I feel like this set alone is really worth it for all these brushes. I would definitely use these brushes. I would definitely use this brush here, this brush here, this brush, this brush, this brush, this brush, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. So maybe the only brush that I wouldn't use is the foundation brush, but that's only because I already have a lot of these brushes. If I didn't already have them, then I would probably use everything except for maybe this brush here. It's totally worth it. I think each brush, if you break it down, is less than $3. So that's cheaper than the e.l.f. Eye Studio brushes if you were to buy all those individually. So that is an absolutely amazing deal. You get a cute case with it that comes with a protector. It's flat. A lot of times your brush case will take up most of the room in your makeup when you're traveling, whereas this one is very compact, as you saw earlier. So I don't think you can go wrong with this brush set. So if you don't have a brush set yet, then I think that this set alone is great for just these brushes. Although you get a whole bunch of eye brushes that, hello, like for $50, that is incredible value. And I've always looked at the Sigma brush sets and thought that I wanted to try those, but those have always been a little bit pricey to me. They are about $100 $10 for 12 brushes. Here I'm getting 18 brushes, 17 of which I will definitely use, and the bag is very useful as well. You can find this brush set on Amazon.com for $50, and I think they even offer it with free shipping also. Thank you all for watching. Bye. Excuse me, let me start that over. So I'm going